kicking back on this summer breeze. Welcome to Double K's Classroom. Class is officially in session.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Hello, folks. Sorry, it took me a quick minute to get back to you. I was sitting here watching The Incredibles 2 because it's on Netflix now. Woohoo! But like friggin' like it was the Spanish version of it. And I was like, why is everything written in Spanish? Well, dumbass, because you're watching the Spanish version of the movie. So, sorry about that. I'm gonna say, all right. So let's get away from that for right now. Let's start out first and foremost by saying congratulations to every member of this year's NBA All-Star team, as the NBA announced the people who made the All-Star team a couple of weeks ago. Guys like Steph, of course, KD were all voted in as starters. Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James were the captains, being the leading vote getters in the East and the West. Um, but Clay made it, so on and so forth. And then they went to stage two, which is them getting to pick their squads, and that was interesting because guys like Clay and Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis, guys that have requested trades or are looking to get away from their teams. After this year, potentially, I don't believe Clay's actually going to try to leave the Warriors. Are all on LeBron's team. People are saying that he might be trying to set up for being able to try to snag these people come next year. And you know what? If he thinks he can, go for it. Because I honestly don't think he could ever he could convince KD to come play for him. KD's already made a statement saying that he thinks that playing with LeBron is toxic for other superstars. So I definitely don't see KD going there. KD may not stay with the Warriors, but I just don't see him going to LA. Clay, same thing. I think Clay, if KD doesn't re-sign with the Warriors, Clay definitely will, because Clay will get offered the max, and that's all Clay really needs to stay with the Warriors, is to get offered a max contract. What I say, it's very very possible that guys like Andre Iguodala may see their last days as Warriors, as the Warriors may trade them to try to see if they can get in some younger pieces that might be able to help them continue this dynasty on as we move forward. But we'll see what happens. They jettison a contract like that and let K and end up having KD leave, and they might have enough to bring back Boogie Cousins next year and still sport four All Stars on next year's squad. But we'll see what happens with that. I am thoroughly impressed with both squads. There was actually a trade that happened that might come into play as Russell Westbrook from LeBron's team to Giannis's team for Ben Simmons. I don't know why that trade happened, but well, you know what? I can honestly say, well, that's the way it goes with LeBron teams. Like he moves people. He gets the team that he wants, and that's what he did, because he wants the best shot to win the basketball game, whatever game that may be. The man's an amazing competitor. But at the All-Star break, we're taking a look at teams like Philly, who made some moves for guys like Tobias Harris, and I believe they made another move for Jeff Ennis II from Houston. 76ers traded away Markel Fultz for some guys and some draft picks, and they're stockpiling picks. I think they want to try to get in on Anthony Davis sweepstakes, which he wasn't dealt by the trade deadline, so he's still a Pelican. But this NBA All-Star weekend should be very interesting. It should be taking place next weekend. So we'll see how things go with the we'll see how things go with the squad as they continue to get closer to playing the game. But as for our individual teams, the Warriors are tied with Denver right now atop the Western Conference, and I believe Milwaukee is sitting on top of the Eastern Conference with the best record in all of basketball, like 40 and like 17 or something like that. They're having a hell of a season. Milwaukee may end up being a 50 or 60 win season team, especially with the moves that they made at the All-Star or at the trade deadline to get Mirotic from New Orleans, and I forgot who else they got, but they traded Thon Maker for him. Or maybe that was the Mirotic trade. Sorry, I'm a little tired tonight. But definitely it's a very interesting scenario to see what's going on with the scope. There's a lot of star power going to the East trying to knock off the Warriors, because they know pretty much at this point nobody in the West is going to be able to. But let's also talk, while we're talking, about something very about the most kind of interesting storyline heading into this, and that was the fact that Anthony Davis is asked to be traded, but was not traded before the deadline to his supposedly preferred destination of LA. Now, let me be 100% clear about this. When I say preferred, and the reason why I say it like that with such attitude is because I don't believe that he ever stated that the Lakers is where he wants to go. I think Rich Paul and them, I think he listed the Lakers as one of his possible destinations, and I think Rich Paul and them are trying to make that happen because they know that their boy LeBron needs help in LA, and so they're trying to make it happen as best as possible by putting out every rumor that they can to try to force New Orleans to trade specifically with LA. But we'll see what's offered. There's plenty of other people out there that can make good offers, including whoever ends up with the number one pick can make a good offer, because then you get an almost immediate replacement for Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson. But we'll see what happens with that. I just would say, don't believe the hype that he's definitely going to land in LA. He could land it with the Clippers. He could land with the Lakers. But there's a couple other places that could end up getting him if they have the proper pieces in place. Even though the one and only Max Kellerman seems to insist that that the Pelicans are that anybody else that gets him outside of the Lakers is a 1-year rental. I don't believe the hype from Rich Paul. And I've seen the video where Anthony Davis has said outright he doesn't He never said that the Lakers were his preferred destination, and he never said that he wouldn't sign with anybody else should he go there. So, like I said, Anthony Davis is gonna land somewhere, and who knows whether or not they'll keep him forever. But one of the places where he might not land is LA because they just don't have enough draft capital. They don't have enough draft capital, and they don't have enough player capital to draw the Pelicans' desire right now. Maybe if the Pelicans go out and they don't find anybody better, they don't find any deal that they like better, not necessarily that's better in general, but that they like better, um, then maybe the Lakers have a shot with what they have. But I just don't see it right now. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take my first commercial break. Run this promo for Voices from the Underground. Then we'll come back with the lesson of the day where I'll talk a little bit about Pacers fans chanting, LeBron's going to trade you at Brandon Ingram while he's taking free throw shots and what that means to an extent. So enjoy. Thank you for listening. Here we go.
Hey, listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing three semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
All right, so we are back, and what I'm here to talk to you about is that one of the big stories that came out of this weekend was that, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, the Los Angeles Lakers basically offered their entire young core to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. And it led to Pacers fans chanting at Brandon Ingram during their game, during a 40-point blowout loss. LeBron's gonna trade you. LeBron's gonna trade you. Oh, not only was it hilarious, but it shows and kind of proves exactly what KD was talking about. When he talked about the toxic locker room effect LeBron can have on a team. Because don't get me wrong, LeBron's one of the best players in the world. I give him all the credit in the world for everything that he's done. He's definitely one of the greats and definitely in the conversation for GOAT. But there is a toxicity to playing with him because you don't know. You know, you miss a shot in a big game, and next thing you know, you on a ship, that offseason to a different team because LeBron needs help. Because everything in the team surrounds around LeBron. LeBron can't adjust. LeBron can't make things work. So if LeBron can't work it out with you to his advantage or the way he wants or whatever it is that triggers him to do it, you have to be moved. And he convinces management to move you. And I think it's a shitty scenario. And I understand what he's trying to do, but it just sucks. It sucks for his teammates. And it sucks to have to let's see. It's just one of those scenarios where LeBron can be a blessing and a curse all at the same time. And LeBron fans don't want to see it. They just want to say, oh, LeBron's the best, and there's nothing wrong with LeBron, and you shouldn't say anything bad about LeBron because LeBron is the best ever. When the reality is, understanding that playing with somebody at that level that's constantly in management's ear and constantly trying to move you or move this person or get that person to the team, so on and so forth, and is constantly trying to will and deal, you can't get comfortable. You can't get into a groove and realize it's my teammate. They got my back. Let's ride together. It's not like that because you can't be like that because LeBron can have you traded at any moment. and that's very stressful for a lot of teammates. And once again, the whole situation with the Pacers and that game proves exactly that point. That, you know what, as cool of a teammate as LeBron is, um, and I believe he probably is a cool teammate to have. He's not a bad guy. I'm not saying he's not, but his quest for a championship comes above all, even at the detriment of players who may be playing on their favorite team and not want to play anywhere else, but end up being traded someplace else because LeBron James needs teammates to win a championship, or needs certain teammates to win a championship. So just think about that the next time that you hear somebody say that KD was hating, talking about the toxicity about of LeBron as a teammate, and understand that situations like what Brandon Ingram just went through, yeah, stupid NBA fans, but it's the exact reason why KD calls playing with LeBron toxic. So that's been my lesson of the day for today. Come back and I'm going to kind of give you my little quick 5-10 minute recap of the Super Bowl. It was a pretty good game this year as far as I was concerned, even though some people called it the most boring and the most ridiculous Super Bowl ever. To me, that wasn't the case, but I'll tell you more about it when we come back. You're listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4AC Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, Spotify, iHeart, and M-Tunes, bitches. Ha ha!
Tune in, folks. It's now time for Double K's Lesson of the Day.
Man brain. You know you want it. You know you need it. Let me introduce you to our team of audio professionals, 100% committed to giving you the greatest extreme comedy podcast of all time.
What's SPH? I'm so super cute.
Send me your orgasmic release videos.
You can get it rootin'. You can get it tootin'. You can get it doing doughies in your yeet. Mi nombre es Tío Yeti. And you just laugh at little Hank. I ain't gonna pretend I is fresh. But looks like you might like that.
And most importantly, I'm Skullfucker. Rah! Go to manbrainpodcast.com to get orally violated. Manbrain out.
So, what's up? Steve Fingerstyles here, the host of the podcast spelled DA, of course. Tune in each and every week to hear what pisses me off, what angers me, what I make fun of, and of course, my crazy rants. I also have incompetent co-hosts, cool guests, and a silent producer that sucks. So what more do you need from a podcast? You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and the Pod Bros Network. Peace.
All right, sorry about that. Sometimes I let those outros slip in there. All right, so real quick recovery of the Super Bowl. If you want to watch my full reaction to the Super Bowl, tune into my YouTube page, double K double at YouTube.com. Or not at YouTube, but .YouTube.com. And yeah, or just go to YouTube and type in double KK double. You should find me. I'll give you my full reaction to the Super Bowl there. But it was a 13-3 victory for Tom Brady and the Patriots, where they pretty much dominated a team defensively that had one of the most high-powered offenses in the history of the game. I want to say like a top 10, top 15 high-powered offense. So the fact that the Patriots were able to shut them down with a not necessarily top-tier defense, bravo to them. The fact that the Patriots were able to score 13 points on the Rams' amazing defense, Bravo to the Patriots. They earned every step of this victory. They earned every march of it. People can hate Tom Brady all they want and say, "Oh, we wish Tom Brady would leave. We're tired of seeing you win every year." Like, at the end of the day, appreciate, like they say about LeBron James, appreciate the greatness that you're watching in front of you, and just shut up. Period. Raiders fans, you can bitch about Tom Brady. I give you your leeway because of the Tuck Rule game. But in general, really, you ain't even got no reason to bitch about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has done a lot of great things in his career, and you can try to hold Deflategate against him or whatever you want. I don't. It's deflating footballs. You'll never convince me that it truly has a grand effect on the game in general. Because like I don't think that and I think it's proven in what was talked about that Indianapolis game that started the Deflategate, that they played the second half with properly inflated balls and outscored the Colts by more points than they did when they had the deflated balls. So the bottom line may be that those deflated balls actually saved the Colts from like a 70-7 ass whipping. Like, because they were outscored like 35 to 10 or something like that in the second half when they had properly inflated footballs. They barely scored with the underinflated footballs. So the logic makes no sense, but you can take it as you will. I know I will. What I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to go on ahead and wrap it up and tell you guys to be sure to listen in to Planet of Cole, Blues Rock and Cole. He's probably going to do an episode tomorrow morning, maybe not, but definitely listen in to Mr. Deacon Experience tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, and then Brick and Lip Gloss and Mike's on Sunday, as well as Kings and Queens of Porn and Dirty Talk 101 on Monday and Tuesday. Like I said, we keep it rolling here at the 486% Radio Network. The Saints should be back with an episode of Now versus Them pretty soon, and West Coast Bias will be back on the 17th with an episode Sunday afternoon to talk Super Bowl, NBA All-Star, etc. Y'all have a great day. A great evening and or day if you're listening to this in the morning, and I'll catch y'all in 2 weeks when I'm back to talk March Madness as we head into the conference championships. And next week I will be back with K-Double's fifth period music class, Bone Thugs and Harmony, the solo years, all tracks off of their solo album. So be sure to tune in for that. I'll check y'all out later, and peace.